Healing the wounds of history involves either working with one culture that carries a legacy of historical trauma, or two or three groups in conflict. If people try to reconcile or without going through some kind of process, it usually falls apart at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You have to build a strong foundation. There is a little bit of theory behind this, or
Mm-hmm.
there are different phases. And I'd just like to, if we have the time,
Yeah, we absolutely have the
the,
time.
the so the first phase is the breaking the taboo of speaking with the enemy or the other, because often there is a taboo uh, that somebody needs to break. So the first phase is uh, getting people in a room together. Then there's humanizing each other through telling our stories. And that can be through psychodrama, through playback theater, through improvisation, through enactments, through monologues, through sociodrama. Less sociodrama because I work with the personal at this point. It involves certain specific exercises, like, for example, I might say, ask people to stand in front of the group and say, my name is Armand Volkas, and I am a Jew. And then I would ask them to say, okay, what comes up for you when you say that in this moment? And in this moment, I feel like a target,
Mm.
that I feel um, a sense of complexity, pride, outrage, and shame. My name is Armand Volkas, and I'm Jewish. The ish makes it softer.
Mhm.
Je m'appelle Armand Volkas et je suis juif. So this brings up my mother's deportation from France to Auschwitz, and with sterilization experiments performed on women like
Mm.
human guinea pigs, because the Nazis wanted to sterilize all of the Slavic people. So, um, so standing in front of the group and engaging uh, like this brings the feelings up to the surface, and then we can work with them in multiple ways. Once there's enough uh, safety, I might move in uh, to looking at the potential perpetrator in all of us, because it's a great equalizer, and it doesn't isolate the person who, in the role of perpetrator, it humanizes them. What comes up in this work a lot is grief,
Mhm.
um, and that unexpressed grief.
When people have been leading with fear or anger for so long, I can imagine that this lowers their defenses where they really feel that grief.
And and also it gives people permission to express it. There's a space for it. And this is where people's stories of their ancestors, or perhaps this is when our ancestors come up, and the trauma that's been handed generationally. And then there's integration and around commemoration, commemorating what happened. I remember in Germany, I went, I said to people, Germans and Jews, imagine that it's 500 years from now, and you're creating, commemorating the Holocaust together, Germans and Jews. And so go out and find things in nature that represent
Mhm.
this and that. And so that the ritual is a way to integrate and the co-creation of ritual. It can either be, again, closed or it can be public. On the 60th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we did, again, at International House at UC Berkeley, we had Playback Theatre. We had a workshop with Japanese during the day, where which was more psychodramatic, looking at their legacies as perpetrators and victims, and so that was happening. But in the evening, we had survivors of the bomb, one from Nagasaki, another from Hiroshima, gave testimony. There was a taiko drumming ensemble. There was a peace tree where everybody created these cranes and put them on the tree. So there are all these different elements, including playback theater, starting with psychodrama and moving into an expression of grief and outrage and fear, etc., that in a contained public space. That's where the performative aspects of drama therapy, from going from a closed workshop where the impact of the work is strong on the people who were present, but then bringing the participants and to share their stories or with the public, and for the public to interact with them, is a very powerful way to address the collective trauma